Hello, good evening. It's 7th of March 2018, and in this episode I'm going to talk about three tenses in French language. Actually, it's going to be a reminder because we already discussed about it in previous episodes. And the first topic for today would be a reminder about the conditional tense, le conditionnel. Okay, so let's start with the conditional tense, le conditionnel. For verbs of the first and second group, you build it from the infinitive form of the verb, upon which you will append the following endings. This ending for first person singular, the same ending for second person singular, third ending would be for third person singular, this ending is for first person plural, this one for second person plural, while the last one would be for third person plural. Okay, now let's give an example, because we have to build up practice, more practice. Example. Je parlerai. I would speak. Tu parlerais. You would speak. Il parlerait. He would speak. Nous parlerions. We would speak. Vous parleriez. You would speak. You as in second person plural. Il parlerait. Third person plural. Okay, so this is conditional, present tense conditional for the verb parler, which means to speak. Je parlerai, tu parlerais, il parlerait, nous parlerions, vous parleriez, il parlerait. Okay. So far, so good. Let's move on to the next category. For irregular verbs, meaning for the verbs, if you remember, of the third group of verbs in French language, which are all irregular, you actually add the same endings as the ones here in red, but you add them to the root of the verb, which is no longer the infinitive form, okay? But it's some other kind of root that unfortunately you will have to learn by heart, because these verbs are irregular, meaning that the root of each verb will also be irregular. So it will you will not be able to, let's say, logically deduct it, logically deduce it from somewhere. Okay, so let's start by a practical, concrete example, solid example. Je voudrais, I would want, I would desire. As you see here, you've got the same endings as before, but this time the root is voudre, and actually the infinitive verb would be vouloir, to want, to desire. Okay, so vouloir, it's, you know, a verb of the third group. It's an irregular verb, and this verb here in the conditional tense, it has a root, a radical, a root that's voudre. So you see, it's not like you subtract this infinitive ending and you have voul. No, you have voudre. So it's different. So this actually is the root that is an irregular root of this verb vouloir, to want, to desire. And this is a specific root by which you will build this conditional tense. So let's color it in black, bold color, black, this root, okay, and let's color it black, okay. And now you see all the endings of the conditional tense are appended, are added upon the root of this verb. So let's read it out loud once again. Je voudrais, tu voudrais, il voudrait, nous voudrions, vous voudriez, il voudrait. Encore une fois, another time. Je voudrais, tu voudrais, il voudrait, nous voudrions, vous voudriez. Ils voudraient. They would want. They would desire. It's conditional, remember? Okay. Now we will have another reminder of past tense continuous, or in French language, l'imparfait. You build it the following way. You take the root of the verb taken from first person plural by eliminating the ending ons and appending the following endings. These endings for first person, second person, third person, singular, and first person, second person, third person in the plural, first, second, third. And here it was first, second, third persons, but in the singular. So let's take an example. Je regardais, I was watching, because the verb is regarder, to watch. And the steps how you actually build this past tense continuous, the steps are the following. You will see them right now. Nous regardons. It means we are watching. Nous regardons. We are watching. And you take this root, okay, by eliminating the ending that I'm gonna color it this time in orange. Okay, you eliminate the ending on, ons, and on this root, regard, you will put the following endings that are here actually. And in this way you're gonna build the past tense continuous. So you have this root. Let me color it so that you understand. In bold color, black. Okay. And you will see which are the endings, specific endings for past tense continuous in this case. Okay, easy does it. We're gonna go through, don't worry. So it will make sense after. Oops, didn't color it black, it should have been black. IONS, this one red. The same automatic, and IEZ red color. Okay, very good. And this one, it's regard. Okay. Very good. So, je regardais, I was watching. Tu regardais, you were watching. Il regardait, he was watching. Nous regardions, we were watching. Vous regardiez, you plural were watching. Ils regardaient, they were watching. So this is past tense continuous. And now another verb, this time it's an irregular verb, okay? It's the verb vouloir, to want. Okay. Let's color it like that. And it's gonna be je voulais, I was wanting, because the root from actually nous voulons, this is the root, voul, and you eliminate this ending from the first person plural, ons, you just eliminate it, and you've got this voul, that's gonna be the root, remember, upon which you will add all this IES, IS, IT, IONS, IEZ, and AIENT. That's gonna be the endings that you append to this root to create the past tense continuous that you see over here. So let's, however, color it in a nice fashion so that it makes more sense to you. I'm right now bolding in black color the root that I built from first person plural by eliminating this ending, and this root is gonna serve to create the past tense continuous, because on this root I'm gonna just append these endings, IONS. You will see which endings, because I'm gonna color them in green after I finish coloring the root, the common root. So okay, these are the endings like I promised. Let's color them green, but let's make it bold green. And you understood, it's quite easy. Okay, and we've got this one as well. And you understood basically the idea, it's quite simple. And the last ending, bold, green again. Okay, so here you've got the root in black color, and in green you've got the endings for the past tense continuous. And how you constructed the root? You took just the first person plural of the verb, you eliminated ONS, the ending, and you got the root, just like that. Okay, now let's make another reminder, and it's gonna be the last reminder for this evening, for this session. Le plus que parfait. Past perfect tense in French language. Le plus que parfait. How you build it? Well, you build it from the past tense continuous of the auxiliary verb, that it can be être or avoir, like you remember, these are the two auxiliary verbs in French language. And you just put the past participle of the main verb to conjugate in the sentence. So you've got past tense continuous of être or avoir, which are auxiliary verbs, plus the past participle of the main verb that you're talking about. So let's give examples so that it makes more sense. For example, when I say j'avais regardé, it means I had watched, so it's past perfect. This is the participle, the past participle of the verb to conjugate, while this is actually past tense continuous of the verb avoir, because in this case it's avoir, that's the auxiliary verb. It's the verb to have, that's auxiliary verb. So, j'avais regardé, I had watched. J'avais regardé par la fenêtre, I had watched across the window quand un oiseau est entré dans ma chambre. When a bird came into my room. So let's see this example. J'avais regardé. This is past perfect of the verb regarder, which means to watch. Regarder, to watch. J'avais regardé, I had watched. Regarder, it's the past participle, watched, and j'avais, in this case, it's past tense continuous of the verb avoir. So, j'avais regardé par la fenêtre, I had watched across the window. Tu avais regardé par la fenêtre, you had watched across the window. Il avait regardé, he had watched. Nous avions regardé, we had watched. Vous aviez regardé, you had watched, in the plural. Ils avaient regardé, they had watched. Here, they had watched. So, past tense continuous of these auxiliary verbs, it's easy to have it. It's the following. Just a reminder, j'avais, tu avais, il avait, nous avions, vous aviez, ils avaient. This is the past tense continuous of this auxiliary verb avoir, to have. And the past tense continuous of the verb être, to be, would be j'étais, with an accent. Tu étais. Okay, let me rather put it in another form. Okay. Let me put it rather here. So, j'étais. Tu étais. Il était. Literally, it means I was, or I was being. J'étais, tu étais, il était, because it's past tense continuous of the verb être. Il était. nous étions, vous étiez, ils étaient. Okay, so ils étaient. So very good. J'avais, tu avais, il avait, nous avions, vous aviez, ils avaient. J'étais, tu étais, il était. Nous étions, vous étiez, ils étaient. Okay, this is the past tense continuous of verb avoir and verb être. And the past participle of the main verb to conjugate. And that's it. That's how you build past perfect. Okay? Now when are you going to use past perfect? Normally you're going to use past perfect when you will express an action that was done in the past and it was completed exactly at the moment in the past when another past action started. Okay? So for example, when I said here j'avais regardé par la fenêtre, it means that I had watched across the window. So it was a past action that I did. I watched across the window, and I watched across the window for a certain period of time, span of time in the past, until a moment, a very particular moment, when another past action kicked in. And this another past action that kicked in is here, in this case, that the bird entered the room. So if you have like a time axis, first, you know, I was watching across the window, blah, 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 blah. And then suddenly the bird came into the room. And when the bird came into the room, just previously to that, I was watching across the window, like, you know, like I had no other better stuff to do, you know? So this is the definition actually of past perfect in English. So if you forgot the definition of past perfect, you have to revise your English skills in the meantime. Okay, so let's continue. Another example. J'étais sorti dans la ville quand tu m'as téléphoné. I had been out in the city when you telephoned to me. This is personal pronoun M apostrophe. So, j'étais sorti dans la ville quand tu m'as téléphoné. I had exited in the city. I had been out in the city when you phoned to me. Tu étais parti à la campagne quand je t'ai téléphoné. So let's take this example. Let's make it a bit bigger. Tu étais parti à la campagne. You had gone to the countryside when I phoned to you. Here, T apostrophe, it means to you. So you had been gone to the countryside when I phoned to you. T apostrophe. I phoned to you. Tu étais parti à la campagne quand je t'ai téléphoné. Okay, another example. This one I'm gonna make it big and great. Il était parti me voir quand le téléphone a sonné. He had been gone to see me when the telephone rang. Il était parti me voir quand le téléphone a sonné. Another one. That I'm gonna make it big as well. Nous étions partis vers le théâtre quand sa mère a ouvert l'enveloppe. Nous étions partis vers le théâtre quand sa mère a ouvert l'enveloppe. We had been gone to the theater when his mother opened the envelope. Okay. Another example. Let's make it big and great, just like America, that's big and great again. Ha 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 ha. So, vous étiez partis vers le cinéma quand les élèves ont fini leurs devoirs. You had been gone to the cinema when the students finished their homework. So even here you can see that actually you were already gone on the way to the cinema when the students suddenly finished their homework. So we've got two actions that are taking place in the past. One action is like a continuous action because it had happened up to a certain moment when the students here finished their homework. So that's the idea of past perfect. And here in my selected area, it's the past perfect of the verb partir, which means to leave, to go. So you had gone to the cinema, vous étiez parti vers le cinéma, quand les élèves ont fini leur devoir, when the students finished their assignment, their homework. Devoir is assignment or homework. So once again I read it out loud. Vous étiez parti vers le cinéma quand les élèves ont fini leur devoir. You had gone to the cinema when the students finished their homework. Okay, so one last example. Ils étaient sortis faire du jogging quand tu as commencé à manger. Ils étaient sortis faire du jogging quand tu as commencé à manger. They had actually sortir, it means to go out. They had gone out. Ils étaient sortis, it means they had gone out. They had gone out. Faire du jogging, to do jogging. Here it's infinitive. Faire, to do jogging. Quand tu as commencé à manger, when you started to eat. À manger, it means to eat. So, ils étaient sortis faire du jogging. They had gone out to do jogging when you started to eat. Quand tu as commencé à manger. Ils étaient sortis faire du jogging quand tu as commencé à manger. Very good, guys. Thank you for bearing up with my lesson so far. And don't forget, if you want to actually improve even faster your French skills, or you want just private courses with me via Skype or Hangouts, Google Hangouts, just contact me at this email address, petronius.popa@gmail.com, and specify your intention, if it's for private courses via Skype, or if is it for let's say fast-tracking your learning of French, if you want to learn French faster and better. Then please contact me on this email, and let's say 2 hours via Skype would cost about 30 euros if you're alone, and 20 euros if you're with another person, so if you're at least two of you. Okay, so 20 euros for 2 hours if it's a couple of you guys. Okay, so write to me at this email, petronius.popa@gmail.com. Or if you don't want to, that's also okay. You can continue to follow my YouTube channel for new updates, new episodes that should come on average about 2 episodes every week. I will see if I can keep up this rhythm, because I've got quite big changes in my life pretty soon. But anyway, we'll see about it. So have fun, and until next time, bye bye.